Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Accord, registered FV55OPC. This is a 2.2 EX diesel, and it's the 2006 model, so it's the later model with the 6-speed gearbox. The reason we do the videos is very simple indeed. We basically, on all our cars, regardless whether like the ones like this one today, we like people to see the cars actually in operation. That way, if there's any issues with the car, we can feed it back to you straight away, so you know about it before coming to us. This car is a classic example actually of why we do the videos. As you'll hopefully know from the advert, this car is being sold for spares or repairs, and that's very important to us to be upfront and honest with you. Aside from, as it again clearly mentions in the video, the poor chap, I felt really sorry for him on the way to us, and it is fresh, I can tell. He hit a pheasant on the motorway and it put a large dent in the bonnet. On the day, and it was literally a couple of days ago, I went on eBay and there was a bonnet for this car. It was only £60 plus £30 delivery, so they are available. So you know, it's not worth either live with it looking like it works perfectly, but aesthetically you could improve it very, very quickly indeed. More importantly, obviously the mechanical side, which I'm going to go through straight away. The one I'll talk about straight off again, because he's perfectly honest and frank with me. He said the car has a, albeit slow, power steering fluid leak. He didn't specify exactly, and I neglected to ask, unfortunately, exactly where that leak is from, whether it's from a hose or the rack, but just assume worst case scenario and you'll be covered, basically. It drives, you know, in that sense, absolutely perfectly, but it's been flagged up, and it's very important that we relay that back to you. Coming with the mechanicals of the car, engine first. Engine starts absolutely instantly. It was -3 this morning. Cranked straight into life, completely smooth, even idle. Engine sounds incredibly sweet. It's done 172,000 miles, this car. Not that you'd ever believe it. I think it's only had 2 owners from new, and serviced throughout the majority of its life. But the engine, yeah, pardon me, I cannot fault it. Pulls absolutely beautifully. It sounds as sweet as a nut. It really, really does. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car, absolutely spot on, bites perfectly, exactly the right point on the pedal travel, so all good in that respect. Gearbox, which is always brilliant on these Accords, and this is the 6-speed box. Lovely shift action. To differentiate from a new one is almost impossible, because it just feels as tight as it would have done when it came off the production line. The gear change is absolutely superb on the car. That is just a ping to tell me it's gone down to 3 degrees again, by the way, so it's just the exterior temperature gauge. So in terms of the kind of the powertrain of the car, all seems absolutely fine. Steering of the car, as I've mentioned, with the fluid leak, but it tracks dead straight. It feels really tight on the road. Doesn't feel any looseness in it at all. Same goes for the chassis. It rides along the road absolutely beautifully. When you hit a bump, there's a muted bump as it hits, but there's no nasty clatterings or chatterings on the suspension at all. This is why the Accord is such a good car, because they hold together so brilliantly well. Brakes on the car, make sure no one's directly behind me, give them a good old shove. But really powerful brakes on the car, no pulsing, no vibrations, absolutely spot on. So coming inside the vehicle, generally it just needs a clean, basically. Obviously we're not cleaning it, it's as it is. It's a sat-nav model. The sat-nav, you can see they're working perfectly. Again, a testament to Honda. Not a squeak or a rattle from the interior. They are brilliantly, brilliantly, brilliantly made cars. But all working exactly as it should. The only other thing on this car, and again mentioned to me, I've got heat coming out of that side. but nothing on that side. So whether it's to do with the plumbing behind the scenes, I honestly don't know. Heater works, it clears the screen perfectly, and I know it's nitpicking, but again, it's something I probably, or most garages wouldn't even bother mentioning, but we have done and we've chosen to do so. Aside from that, I just can't fault the driver of the car. However, because of those issues, and because one of the issues in particular needs attending to straight away, that is the basis on which the car has to be sold. It is clearly at the price we're selling it, which is only £599, which is what we paid for the car after costs. We are making no profit out of the car, and rightly so. You know, we're not looking to, but it does then leave room for someone to attend to those items which need attending to, or to split the car down, God forbid, into parts, because the parts of this car, engine, gearbox, seats, everything in it is worth far more than the price we're selling the car for. But it has to be bought on that basis, and that's the reason for it. Or, as I said, someone spends the money and repairs the items and gets them attended to. So hopefully that's made clear the car, and hopefully it's helpful in that sense.